Microsoft spent $6.3 billion on a company in 2007, and by 2012, it was worth nothing, and nobody talks about why. That's not hyperbole. That's not accounting magic. That's a straight line from triumph to erasure. I've worked cases where evidence disappeared. This is different. This is a company that vanished in plain sight, swallowed whole by the world's largest software vendor, and what happened next is a masterclass in corporate amnesia. Exhibit 1, the acquisition itself. October 2007. Microsoft paid $3.1 billion, then doubled down with another $3.2 billion in earnouts. The target was Aquantive, not a household name, but in the digital advertising space it was the hot ticket, real-time bidding, behavioral targeting, programmatic ads before anyone had a name for it. Steve Ballmer wanted in, badly. Google was eating Microsoft's lunch in search. Yahoo was a mess. Aquantive's technology, specifically their Atlas platform, promised to bridge that gap. It promised to make Microsoft competitive in the ad tech arms race. It promised everything. Exhibit 2, the integration disaster. Aquantive wasn't just acquired, it was absorbed. Merged into Microsoft's online services division. Given a new name, Microsoft Advertising, management shuffled, teams scattered across 3 continents. Culture, gone, autonomy, evaporated. Here's where I don't buy coincidences. The talent left. The founders cashed out and moved on. The engineers who built Atlas, the thing Microsoft paid $6 billion for, they found the door, and they walked through it. Some went to Google. Some started their own firms, the core intellectual capital. It walked out the building. Exhibit 3, the market didn't wait. By 2008, the financial crisis hit. Advertising budgets froze. Microsoft's ad network, built on Aquantive's foundation, couldn't compete with Google's entrenched dominance. Not because the technology was bad, because Microsoft didn't know how to run it, didn't want to run it, wanted it to be something it wasn't. By 2012, Microsoft took a $6 billion write-down. Not $4 billion, not 5, 6. They essentially admitted we paid that much for something worth zero. The acquisition was dead. Aquantive was dead, and the post-mortem barely a whisper. Exhibit 4, the strategic failure nobody discusses. Microsoft wanted to own advertising, wanted vertical integration, wanted to compete with Google on Google's terms, but owning a platform and running a platform are different animals. Microsoft was a software company. Advertising is a people business. It's relationships, psychology, creative instinct. You can't patch that. The cultural clash was instant. Aquantive was nimble, scrappy, built by people who understood digital. Microsoft's bureaucracy, layers of approval, risk-averse decision-making, committees reviewing committees, it strangled the thing the moment it arrived. Exhibit 5, the silence afterward. Microsoft didn't publicize the failure, didn't hold a press conference, didn't write a case study for business school. They just moved on, pretended it didn't happen, rolled the loss into the next fiscal year and continued. That's the real tell. Because admitting failure means admitting the strategy was wrong. Admitting Ballmer miscalculated. Admitting that throwing money at a problem doesn't solve it if you don't understand the problem. Easier to bury it. Cleaner that way. Here's what gets me. This wasn't fraud. No CEO was cooking books. No whistleblower exposed embezzlement. It was worse. It was incompetence dressed up in a billion-dollar suit. A massive company making a massive bet on something it didn't comprehend, then doubling down when it failed, then pretending it never happened. The real cost wasn't $6 billion. It was the opportunity cost. $6 billion that could have gone to R&D, to cloud infrastructure, to the things Microsoft eventually did right. $6 billion that could have changed the company's trajectory. Instead, it vanished. And the lesson, the one nobody learned? You can't buy your way into markets you don't understand. You can't acquire culture. You can't download competence. When you swallow something whole, you have to let it breathe. Aquantive couldn't breathe in Microsoft's lungs. Ballmer eventually stepped down in 2014. Not directly because of Aquantive, but the pattern was clear. Big bets, missed execution, billions written off. By the time Satya Nadella took over, Microsoft had to rebuild its entire philosophy, cloud first, partner-friendly, humble. Aquantive's ghost never haunted that new era. It was already gone, dissolved into the corporate void. The people scattered, the technology scattered, the dream of owning digital advertising dead on arrival. So here's the fact. Microsoft spent $6.3 billion on Aquantive in 2007, and by 2012 it was worth nothing. Not because the market collapsed, not because the founders failed, because the acquirer didn't understand what it bought, didn't know how to run it, and didn't have the humility to ask for help. That's not a cautionary tale. That's a case study in hubris. Subscribe, there's a new billion-dollar disaster waiting every week.